So you have a cube that looks like this and you want it to look like this. First, you did what a smart person would do and you asked Google. Then you found a lot of videos. The people in the videos were great at solving the Rubik's Cube, but not so great at teaching someone else how to do it. Then your luck changed and you found the EasiestSolve channel, where I will not be teaching speed solving or complex algorithms. I teach slow using stories and patterns. The first question you should ask yourself is, which side are you on? Every side of the cube has a fixed point that never moves, no matter how much you scramble it. For instance, notice that yellow is in the center here. We call this the yellow side. This is green in the center, so we call this the green side. And here's the white side. So what side is this? This, of course, would be the orange side. Every side of the cube has an opposite color. Knowing the opposite colors can help you solve a bit faster and help you feel more comfortable with the cube. Blue and green are cold colors, and they are opposites on the cube. Red and orange are hot colors, and they are opposites. The final set of opposites are white and yellow. These are daisy colors. So as an example of that, notice that we have orange here. I can predict that on this side, we're going to have the red side, because I know orange and red are opposites. So if you turn around and look, sure enough, this is the red side. Here is the green side, and I know without even looking that this is the blue side. The blue is right here because blue and green are the cold colors. They're opposites. And the same with the yellow. Here's yellow. We know what's over here. It's the daisy color. It's white. Yellow and white are opposite colors. If your opposite colors do not match my opposite colors, then you probably don't have an official Rubik's Cube. If you want one, check the links in the description. Take your cube and turn it to the yellow side. Remember, the yellow side is the side that has yellow in the center. So let's find that. There it is. We've got yellow. We want that pointing up to the top. And we're only going to pay attention to the top of the cube and the side that's facing us. We're not going to worry about the other sides for now. Just hold it like this, and we're only going to look at the top and the front side. I want you to imagine that this yellow piece is a yellow house. And around the yellow house is a road. And there's also a road that comes down here, and there's a median here. So in your imagination, it should look something like this. On the cube, you will find white pieces. If it's a corner piece, we're going to ignore it. But if it's not a corner piece, then it's called a car. And we're going to drive those cars to park around this yellow house so it forms the shape of a daisy. So let's go ahead and solve this cube. We're going to start on the yellow side where it's facing up. So where's the yellow side? There it is. The yellow's in the middle, and it's facing toward the ceiling. And we're only going to look at the top of the cube and the front of the cube. And the first thing we need to ask ourselves is, are there any cars? And the answer is yes. There's a car right here. This is not a car because it's a corner piece, and this is not a car because it's also on the corner. But this is a car, and we can drive it up to park right here next to the yellow house. We do that by simply turning this side clockwise to get it to park up there. Now that is parked right next to the yellow house. Now that we did that, we made a change, so we need to look again to see if there's any more cars. There's not, so let's move on. Do you see a car? The answer is yes, there's the car. That's not a corner piece, that is a car. How are we going to get that car to park in one of these spots? Well, first of all, it's in the median, and cars shouldn't be driving in the median. So the first thing we're going to do is get the car onto the road. So it can be the left side of the road or the right side of the road, it doesn't matter. Let's just take it to the left side. And now that this car is actually in the road, we can easily drive it up and park it next to the house. Now we made a change, so just make sure we look. Okay, there's no more cars. Let's check the next side. All right, we found another car, and it is in the road, so we can drive it straight up and park it next to this house. However, it's going to crash into this car. It's not going to do us much good if we drive it up, because then we lose that car, and I call that crashing the cars. You should feel comfortable spinning the top of the cube. Notice if I spin this, it's not going to matter, and the house is always going to be in the middle. We're not hurting anything by spinning it, so don't be afraid of spinning that top. So we're going to keep spinning until we find a spot for this car to come and park. Obviously here is not going to work. If I spin it once, it's not going to work. It's going to crash into that one. But here is a free parking spot where there is no white, and now I can turn this counterclockwise and park it. So I'm going to turn that so it goes up. And now that is parked next to the house, and we have one more car left, which goes here. Let's keep looking. No cars here. And there's no cars here. And there's no car here. So where is the car? The last car is actually on the bottom. There it is. So there's the middle of the white side, and there's our last car. How are we going to bring that car all the way up and park it here? I call this teleporting. It's really easy. You just find where it is. This is our car. Put your finger on it. And I'm going to put my thumb on the spot that it goes. So it was already lined up there, but let's say it wasn't. Let's say it was like this. I put my finger on here, and we don't want it here because it's going to crash that car when it teleports. So we simply spin the cube until we have the empty parking spot, and that's right on top of where we're going to teleport it. Put my finger there, my thumb on top, and we're just going to turn 180-degree flip like this. And then we solved for the daisy. And again, sometimes you'll get a white piece here and it won't look like a daisy because it'll mess up the colors, or a yellow here. It's not going to matter. As long as you have this shape with the yellow in the middle and 4 white around it, you're fine. So you can actually ignore the corner pieces, and as long as you have that color, then you solve the daisy. If you can solve this in under 2 minutes from a scrambled cube to the daisy, then you need to do these things. First, you need to like the video, then you need to subscribe, and then you go to the description and click on step 2. Let me show you all the issues that you're going to run into. One issue is car in the median. Here you have a car in the median. What do you do to get it up here? You simply turn it to get it into the road. And now it's in the road and can drive up here and park next to that house. We have the car at the top of the median. Doesn't really matter. Again, we just put it back in the road. Now it's in the road, and we're going to drive it up and park next to the house. So another thing you may run into is cars crashing. For instance, here we've got one car missing, and it's right here. How are we going to get that one parked over here? Well, this car is in the median, so we know it has to get over to the road. And we probably want to go on the left side so we can park it here on the left side of the house. But look, if we try to do that, watch what happens. It is going over to the left side, but we're ruining this daisy here. We're ruining this car. So we don't want this messed with. Again, remember, you should feel free with spinning the top. You can spin the top as much as you want. It's not going to hurt anything. So I'm just going to spin it like this. So now there's no car there. And now I can freely move this without messing up the daisy. So I'm going to move it like this. Now it's on the left side. And now it can drive up. But again, there's a car in the way. That's okay. You can move the top like this. And now we have the free spot. And we can park it like so. Another issue is car on the bottom. And we already talked about this. We can teleport them. So we just find out where the car is. We find a free spot. Obviously, this isn't going to work. And so I'm just going to turn it. Put my finger at where it is. And then on the free spot where my thumb is going to go. And I just do a 180 flip. And that's how you fix that issue. If you can solve this in under 2 minutes from a scrambled cube to the daisy, first you need to like the video, then you need to subscribe, and then you go to the description and click on step 2. So I've scrambled the cube, and I'm going to show another example of solving the daisy. We've got our yellow side pointed up toward the ceiling. We're looking at the top of this cube and the front of the cube. Do we see any cars? No, we do not. There's no whites here. So let's check this side. Do we see a car now? Yes, there's a car right here. This is not a car because that's a corner piece, does not count. But we can drive this car up and park it next to the house. And now we changed the cube, so we brought this one out, but it's still not a car, so we can ignore it. Let's move on to this side. Do we see any cars? Yes, we do. In fact, we've got 2 cars in the median here. And again, this is not a car because it's in the corner. And here we can put them on the road actually at the same time. It's like a double car move here. And they can both be driven up. Now we have 1 car left. It's not here. There's the car. So we can drive this car up and park it next to the house, but it'll crash into this car. So we're going to turn, and obviously it's not going to work here either. So we keep turning until we get to the empty spot, which will be right here. And then we just drive this car up. And now that's your daisy. And I want you to recognize here, notice this yellow. It makes it kind of throwing off the daisy color, but just ignore it. These corners don't matter. All that matters is you have the daisy in the middle. So as another example, let's solve one more time. Here's the yellow side. We're pointing that up. And look, we already have a car parked next to it, so that's good. Do we see any other cars here? This is a corner piece. It doesn't count. This is a corner piece. It does not count. But this is a car. But it is in the median, so we need to get it off the median and into the road. So let's turn the front. And now it is in the road, and we can drive it up next to the yellow house. Okay. Any more cars here? No, there's not. Any cars here? That's not a car. That's a corner piece. Corner, corner. So now we're on this last side, and there is a car here, and we'll park it right here. Okay, we made the change, but there is no extra car here, so it's probably on the bottom. There it is. So again, this is the middle of the white side. This is a corner piece, and this is the car. So again, I'm going to put my finger there and put my thumb where the free parking spot is, and I'm just going to switch the places of my finger and thumb to teleport that car up. And once again, we've solved the daisy. Again, if you can do this in under 2 minutes, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and then go to the description and click on Step 2.